Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2, or Magmal 2 for short. During the last part, I completed 4 more levels in Tier 5, those being the levels that placed between 47th place and 44th place. So let's continue on to the final level of the Tier 5 arcade. But first, let's talk with Neptune. That is true. And it kinda makes sense because Neptune was one of the 2 water-based Roadmasters, or rather Star Droids of Mega Man V. So here it is, in 43rd place is Starman Recreation by Koreyblue with a score of 28.6. It seems that Ace, Guriri, and Angel liked this more than Pyro and Jupi did. Let's see why. Normally Pyro's the highest scoring judge, so okay. 1 energy element and 5 Nobel Nickels. So I guess I'll be able to do it in one run through unless there is any extra pathways. Nothing to the left. And just like the title suggests and the theme song is, we have a Starman stage remake as well as low gravity. Well, I did like Starman stage back in Mega Man 5, so this will be a nice romp through. After all, stages are starting to become between average and above average in terms of quality. Well, that's one way of introducing the crystal droppers here. And there's our first Nobel Nickel right out in the open. Although there is a crystal drop over there, so it's slightly more difficult. I would have placed it in a little bit more of a difficult location though. So we're introduced to the Tatepakans, the B-Bitters, as well as the Bounders. Well, we haven't been introduced to the Bounders yet. We're introduced to all these Space Mets, though. This is where we're introduced to the B-Bounders. I believe the Tatepakans, the B-Bitters, as well as the Bounders were all in Mega Man 5. In Starman stage, that is, as well as the Space Mets. That I do have. I'm sure that the Space Mets were in the Mega Man 5 Starman stage. Wonderful spikes. I'll take the dead over there. It was too close for comfort. And Spike Guard, or rather the Skull Amulet, doesn't act like a Spike Guard, so I will die over there. Still, at least the checkpoint isn't too far back in the first place, so it's just a minor annoyance. And I could have done it if I was more skilled anyway. I just wonder how the low-gravity gimmicks will be taken in this stage. Do we have the moving up and down platforms like in Starman's original stage? If so, that'd be neat. Really, the only problem with Starman's stage I can think of back in Mega Man 5 was the fact it was a little bit more on the easy side outside of those 1 or 2 sections. Honestly, I believe Starman stage was the first Roadmaster stage that took place in space, if I recall correctly. Not taking any chances here, that's why I was silent. Well, we have 2 out of the 5 Nobel Nickels, so I suppose the rest of them are coming up soon. And we have the Galaxy Man teleporters now. Let's see how this is utilized in conjunction with the other gimmicks of Starman stage. Also, it seems that the looping for this stage's team is a bit off. At least the enemies are being introduced in a fair enough fashion. Although I would have preferred if those crystal droppers were introduced when you were on solid ground instead of being right over a bottomless pit. Well, there's a 3rd Nobel Nickel. Let's see how we do this. Oh, gravity switches, it seems. Hello? Well, that sucks. I decided to kill myself over here because I really want to get that Nobel Nickel first. Thankfully there's a checkpoint right over here, so it's not much of a nuisance. Oh, and I just noticed that the Galaxy Man teleporters are showing where they'll be teleporting us to, as well as where it switches the gravity, because this one will switch gravity downwards. and by doing so we can now collect the Noble Nickel. That's clever, I didn't realize the Galaxy Man teleporters can switch your gravity too. Oh darn, I was trying to slide over there, but I didn't hold down hard enough. Really, this stage is more on the easy to medium side. It would be like a traditional Roadmaster stage in Mega Man 5. Like the original Starman stage, actually. It's just the low gravity is kinda screwing with my jump height. And we haven't experienced low gravity that much in this engine. In this competition yet. Ah, I see, that's where it was taking us to. And now we jump over it. Thankfully there's no bottomless pit at the bottom. And all those gyres despawn for whatever. I guess their despawn radius didn't get fixed. Why hello there, Fan Fiend. I see. The Fan Fiends are gonna try blowing me into these pits. Something's up there. I'm sure of it. Oh wait, I made a mistake. There was a Noble Nickel back over there. I'm sure of it. Well, I'm stuck, never mind. I'll get it back when I read through this stage. I should have checked up that ladder. That was odd. That Chone just sitting there for a short while was kind of off-putting. And now we have the metal cannons in combination with the gyres. This is a good initial placement of the metal cannons because it's in a safer environment. Oh, and we also have the toss machines as well. And that's where the next Noble Nickel is. I really want to get Rush Jet active for this one, because I'm not sure what challenges lie next to us. Another nice thing is that I can completely circumvent these enemies thanks to low gravity. Wow, that was an epic screw-up. Let's attempt this again and hope there's less errors, and that toss machine can actually attack me from off-screen too for some reason. And as I mentioned in the previous part, I'm still getting used to the different control schemes between this and Mega Man Maker, because the buttons for sliding are different. Really, there's nothing much to say about this stage. Unfortunately, we didn't have those moving up and down platforms like in the original Starman stage. But the Galaxy Man teleporter segment was pretty nice. I just wished it was used in the final segment where we're out in the space open, probably for more spikes over there. Honestly, it's an average stage, 25 out of 50. There was nothing offensive about the stage and it wasn't bad. It was really me screwing up more than anything else. So time... oh, wait a minute. I thought I didn't get all the Noble Nickels, apparently I forgot one. Never mind then, I don't need to replay the stage. I thought by not taking that ladder I missed the Noble Nickel, but the crown says otherwise. Well, fair enough then. Ah, Polybius, nice reference to that urban legend. Thank you, Rainbow Man. That's really appreciated. And now we're moving into the Tier 5 boss. Now, who could the boss of this Tier 5 arcade be? We'll see soon enough. And no, it's not Acolyte Joe. Unfortunately, we don't fight him. It would be quite nice to fight Acolyte Joe as a regular enemy or a mini-boss, similar to a beefed-up version of a Wizard Man or Wizard-type enemies in Wizard Man stage in Super Fighting Robot. It's in reality Lord Elewoofro. As you'll see soon enough, it's actually a combination of Electman, Woodman, and Frostman. If you're wondering where this came from, actually, the sprite, it's the sprite, let me pause for a second, it's actually the sprite or the utility you get for completing Blind Man stage in Dr. Wily's final attack, but instead of being a super utility that restores E and M tanks, as well as and provides extra lives, this one immediately attacks you as an enemy. It has a combination of all the attacks of those 3 aforementioned Robot Masters, like the Elect Beam, the Wood Shield, and I believe it'll have the Frost Wave once it loses enough health. And at this point it starts using the Leaf Shield as expected, and then it throws it at you. Still get hit over there. I'm burning an E-tank, it's more than necessary here. And I have so many spare E-tanks I might as well use them. Really like the boss team though, it's actually the final boss team for the Wily machine in Dr. Wily's final attack. When he has those white sparkles, he starts using Frostman's attacks. And when he has those yellow sparkles, he starts using Electman's attacks. Pretty fun boss fight overall. It's a nice in-joke as well. And a nice reference to Dr. Wily's final attack. Three more hits should do the trick. And yet still I need to use another E-tank, because Lord Elewoofro's pattern can be a little bit difficult to get a hold of initially, but eventually becomes quite easy as long as you're paying attention. And that's the end of the Tier 5 arcade, at least the contestant levels and boss fight. There's one thing left to do though. And yes, I kinda screwed around with the boss fight, and I could have done it better if I wasn't commenting. This is my first time fighting the boss after all, so it's to be expected. Bosses from this point on will become a lot more difficult to take care of or dispatch. Remember when I said about 1 or 2 parts ago about this cabinet? Yep, this City War cabinet works, and it takes us to a remake version of City War, specifically the 2017 remake version made by Smetis 2. We have the same musical tracks, same oddly placed background, same tile sets, same enemy placement. The only difference is that the ladders are visible. And just like the original stage, as I'll showcase here, we still have the invisible holes in the ground. The meme has been remixed into another form. I'm gonna try avoiding most of the stage for now. At least get up to here. And be warned, there is a hole in the ground, just like before, so you gotta be a bit careful and not fall in it. There's always a hole at the place where initially enemies spawn, because the original author forgot to untick the option of saying delete underlying instances. Originally, the way I did the stage was I used Rush Jet and an M-Tank in order to complete the stage properly. That way I didn't fall in the bottom's pit. Thankfully, there are no Nobel Nickels in the stage. The only thing you have to get in this stage is the energy element at the end. Unlike the original City Wire, there is no skip teleporter. But that ends Tier 5, at last. So we collected everything, but before I continue on to Tier 6, I want to visit Dr. Light's lab because there is an upgrade I really want to purchase. One I've been postponing for quite a while. This upgrade, the Charge Buster upgrade, makes charge shots larger and more powerful. I kept saying I would buy it back in Tier 3 or 4, but I kept delaying over and over because I wanted to get more costumes. To showcase what it does right over here, our charge shot is now a lot bigger and it has all those interesting sparkles and it leaves a trail around. So it's a definite upgrade and it'll be really useful against most of the normal enemies because it deals 1 more point of damage, plus it has the larger radius as well. There you are, base. And before I continue on, I need to visit Nightman because he does have some new things for me. I did, and it was quite an experience. Oh, Magic Man. I don't know what that's a reference to. I know that Pharaoh Shot and Magic Card were both weapons in Magma 1. Ah, Glue Man. Ah, sticking. Puns everywhere. And by collecting 50 Nobel Nickels, we now collect a whole slew of new costumes. Unfortunately, Lord Elewoofro isn't here, nor is Acolyte Joe. Seems like a missed opportunity. Well, Nitro Man, I think we should be more careful. Well, I checked the rest of the hub world off screen and I didn't see anything new. So let's visit Tier 6 now, which is right next to the Chateau. This looks like an odd location. Huh, I see Zero's silhouette over here. I wonder if that's a foreshadowing moment. I get the feeling they have been kidnapped or something. Well, at least this teleporter works better than Tier 1's teleporter. So, onwards to Tier 6 with 9 energy elements and 17 Nobel Nickels. And unlike Tier 1, it actually has a proper simulation. Now we're in Cyberspace. And we have the screen looping gimmick, similar to Yggdrasil, but here it works consistently. Really liking the background here. You're right, Bubble Man. You would fit a lot more in the Tier 2 sewers. I guess this is here to introduce you to the screen wrapping gimmick. Thankfully, you cannot die in this tier. At least, I think you cannot die in any of the hub worlds. It makes sense because Jupiter was weak against the salt water from Mega Man V. That was a water type weapon. So next up, in 42nd place, is Wily Coaster by Primepasta with an average score of 28.8. We're almost at the above average tier. And it seems like Pyro liked it the most, as well as Gururi. Angel didn't really like it. 1 energy element and 2 Nobel Nickels. And we have an 8-bit remix of Chemical Plant Zone's stage team. Walked right into that one. We have a Rembakan, aka those missile dropping enemies, and we have a... This is really like the Wily Fortress 2 from Mega Man 2, or Wily Fortress 1 from Mega Man 2. As you saw over there, my Charged Buster Shot now deals 4 points of damage instead of the default 3. So let's tear through all the Picketman Bowls, lyrics, as well as more lyrics. At least the background showcases where the lyrics are coming out of, and they do fit the background. And don't worry, at the beginning of the next part, I will take a look at the costume shop. Hopefully the rest of the part has a lot less failures than what happened in Starman Recreation. That was just embarrassing. Now we're in a reference to the Wily Stage 2 of Mega Man 1. Is this going to be a mismatch or combination of several Wily Fortress stages from various NES Mega Man titles? Because now we have the bomb flyers. That was close. If I didn't have the knockback or reduced knockback, I would have died there. Still no sign of the Nobel Nickels. Wait a minute. I see what they want me to do here. Not do that. I was thinking there was going to be a Nobel Nickel down over there. Or in there. That just seems so suspicious. Now we're facing all these Peter Cheese and Gravitons. Or Gravitrons. No gravity switching here though, so they're just like acid droplets. Used with a combination of all those lyrics. The difficulty progression is definitely getting better as I go higher up in the tiers. Levels are becoming more and more solid, and have less design flaws. And now we have the Sparkman platforms, which over here I'm a lot more okay with compared to Mega Maker. I have a suspicion of something. I get the feeling I have to use the Sakugarne over here because there's going to be a Nobel Nickel or some secret, like before, which taught me how to use the Sakugarne. Oh neat, this is like the top spin platforms in the Mega Man Maker challenges. I was right, we got a Nobel Nickel. And it takes us... where is this? Right over here. So I was right to be suspicious. I knew there was going to be some sort of secret over here because that Sparkman platform seemed way out of place. Especially because we had the above grounds over here. Also, unlike Mega Man Maker, like I mentioned before, the Sparkman platforms can take us above. Although you better jump off at the right time so you don't get crushed. What I specifically mean is the fact that we can have vertical transitions while on Sparkman platforms. And now on this final segment we're actually on the Wily Coaster, aka 3 Gotsman platforms taped together. And we're getting attacked by all these Rembicons, Mets. Okay, we're getting attacked by the lyrics now. I totally expect there to be bomb flyers everywhere. Okay, I was right, we have the bomb flyers now. We gotta be quick so we don't end up falling off the platform though. At least the Wily Coaster or Gutsman lifts aren't speeding up, thankfully. Otherwise this would become a lot more of a nightmare. And thankfully also there are no holes in the platform. And that's the end of the stage. If there were holes in that Guts Lift platform segment, oh goody, that would make it a lot harder. Not to mention, it's relatively straightforward. Just imagine if it switched its speed, increased, decreased, or even switched the direction it was going, or had diagonal terrain like here. It's an average to above average stage, and really the first half of the stage was more like a mishmash or combination of multiple Wily Fortresses, and the second half was the true Wily Coaster. This stage should have focused more on the second half of the stage with the Sakugarne segments, as well as the Wily Coaster itself. First half of the stage was a tribute, the second half was the more creative one. It's an above average stage, or average to above average, at least a 25 to 26 in my book. It kind of lost some of its potential with the Guts Lift segment. That should have been longer and had more variety with its terrain and the track. Is this the right way? Yes it is. In 41st place is Changeable Caverns by TheMartianGeek with a score of 29.0. Jupi really didn't like this stage, so I guess it failed to live up to its potential or execution. 1 energy element, no Nobel Nickels. So let's see what this level has to offer. We actually have the Napalm Man background again. And we're immediately introduced to the spinning top platforms, the Drillon, as well as that rock throne. And we have the Boomerang Quanger, no, not that one, the Armored Armadillo stage team from Mega Man X, although an 8-bit remix version. The charge shot of course makes mincemeat out of all these enemies, especially the upgraded version. Now we have the concrete platform. Now we have the Brightman platform. There are a lot of platform types being introduced quickly here. Just 3 in this one segment alone. I was thinking there was going to be a section with Yoko blocks there. Now we have a Guts Lift segment. I get the feeling we're introducing too many of these platforms in too short of a duration of time. Because we already had 4 or 5 platform types introduced right in this 1 or 2 sections. We really should be reducing it here. We didn't get well acquainted to all of them just yet. At least spread out the love or something. The enemies are introduced in a fair enough fashion though. And once again, I failed at the Guts Lift segment over those holes. I always have problems there. So instead I'll do this option. And now we have the Crash Lifts too. Please ease up on the number of platform types being added, this is way too much. Especially in a short duration of time. Now we have the Shadow Man platforms, this is 6 or 7. Really ease up on it. On this, that's the gimmick of the stage, where each screen has their own platform types. Now we have the Moliers. That's what I was mentioning earlier, or what I was referring to earlier, of why I was kind of hesitant to get the Charge Shot upgrade, because it tears through most enemies with ease. Now we have the Concrete Man platforms, at least we're seeing them reused in a more dangerous configuration. And to be honest, none of the platforms are being introduced in safe enough environments. We saw that with the Gutsman lifts as well as the Crash lifts. The top platforms as well as the concrete platforms are introduced in better environments though. I'm not taking any risks over there, and what just happened? Huh, I guess I didn't hit the ladder at the correct point. Now we have the Tomahawk Man platforms. And there's me forgetting to jump push A. At least there's a checkpoint right over here. But as I was saying, there are too many platform types being introduced in a short duration of time. Really ease up on it unless that's the gimmick of the stage. Even then though, they're not being introduced in safe enough environments. Tomahawk platforms really should be introduced in a safer environment first, like not over a bottomless pit. That went a lot better than I expected it to. Outside of that failed jump, it worked a lot better. Platform types that are being used the best in this stage, I would say, are the Spinning Tops and Concrete Man platforms. The rest are being underutilized, or not being introduced in a proper fashion. And the difficulty curve of the stage feels off too. I do like the combination of the Brightman platforms with those concrete platforms. Unfortunately, there was no boss. I was really hoping to fight more bosses in this part. Like in Starman Recreation, it was a really big missed opportunity to not have the Starman fight. It really felt anticlimactic there. So in the next part, I'll continue my way deeper into the Tier 6 cyberspace. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!